Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 19 of my podcast, Knittings and Sewings, where Walter and I come to you from Kansas City, Missouri, and we talk to you about all things knitting, spinning, weaving, sewing, crochet, whatever it is that we happen to get up to. Walter is wearing his Kansas City Chiefs little hoodie because we are in the middle of Chiefs season right now. You want to show them? This is your little hoodie. I want to show this side. He's got his little red sleeves. You look so cute in it, Wally. But anyway, wanted to talk to you first about the Stephen West GeoGradient MCal. This will probably be the last time I'll probably talk about this because, as you know, last time I was working on, I'd just finished or nearly finished the last stripe of Clue 1, and I was going to plan on the next time working on Clue 2, which I did start doing. And every time, though, I would pick it up, it was just going so slow, and I was finding myself really not enjoying the process of working on it. And so I'm going to show you that I'm only halfway through Clue 2. I've spent here I think almost 2 weeks working on this Clue 2 part, and I've only done half of Clue 2. And so it is really a slow slog for me, and I'm not enjoying the whole project. And even after I saw the Clues 3 and 4 revealed, I realized that this was not something I was eager to finish or would likely wear. And so, I thought at first that I might try to finish the second side of Clue 2 so that I could put it down at a stopping point. And then if I decided to pick it up again, I could do that because I don't like to leave a project in a point that is hard to pick up again. But my feeling right now is that I probably won't pick it up again, in all honesty. I'm just not liking the way it looks. I'm not liking the way it's going. And so I feel that more than likely it will be scuttled altogether. So I'll be moving on with something else. I'm not quite sure what yet, but as you all know, my basic motto here at Knittings and Sewings is love what you're making and wear what you make. So this one is just not one of those projects that I am likely to ever want to wear, and I certainly have not enjoyed the process of making it. So I'm letting it go. And I have learned that, in all honesty, probably I won't be doing make-alongs in the future because that's just not my style. I like to know what I'm making in advance and like to invest my time and effort into something that at least I'm likely to enjoy. So I think that is what I've learned from this, is that I'm just not a make-along kind of person, and I will be picking my projects in the future. We've all had things that just don't work out. And so this is one of those things for me. Anyway, I decided for my next read, which I've just started, it's going to be a much lighter book. I purposely was looking for a light, funny, more relaxing, fun read. And so I was searching out for something good. And there's a podcast I listened to with Joyce Vance and her sister-in-laws that is called Sister-in-Laws. If you've never heard that, that's a really entertaining podcast. And 2 of the 4 sister-in-laws, I think there's 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them, but 2 of the women were talking about how they were looking for a light, fun read after all of the depressing world news that's been going on. And they had both found a book called Lessons in Chemistry. And it's an excellent book. I'll put the author up. I just started this, and so I'll have to put the author up, but it's about Elizabeth Zott. The character is Elizabeth Zott, and it was on the GMA book club also at one time. I don't know if it's a recent pick, but it's kind of set in like the 1960s, a little bit even of the late 50s in California, and it features a heroine named Elizabeth Zott, who is a scientist. And so it's just really an entertaining book, very funny, laugh out loud funny, wonderful characterization, and it's just a delightful book so far. I'm only like 7 or 8 chapters into it, but I can tell I'm going to absolutely love this book. So I would recommend, if you are looking for a lighter read, you definitely should turn to this book, Lessons in Chemistry. It's been a bestseller on the New York Times, very well reviewed. And also, there is I think it's a movie. It might be a series, but I think it's a movie that's coming out, or just recently has come out with this same, based on the book. But I want to read the book first. As always, I like to read the book before I see it on the screen. So, but if that's another one, if you're looking for a light, entertaining read, I wanted to bring those up. Now, another thing that I want to cover today, in addition to my reading, is with the discussion of sight. I recently have found that I needed to get a new pair of glasses, and that's the ones I'm wearing right now. I had a big change in my vision, and my vision is always a challenge anyway, but anyway, I had a change in my vision, and so I do have these new glasses, and I'm kind of getting used to them. But I've been wearing just readers for quite some time, but I'm now needing regular glasses, and anyway, so I'm adjusting to my new glasses. But while I'm doing that, it occurred to me that eyeglass cases are something that make wonderful gifts. And when we were talking last time about making dryer balls as Christmas gifts that are quick and easy to make, it occurred to me that eyeglass cases can also be very, very quick, especially if you happen to be a sewer. And so I wanted to show you some of my favorite types of basic eyeglass cases that you might want to consider making for your own family. And the good thing about glasses is almost everyone wears either regular glasses, reading glasses, or sunglasses. And so they're universal almost in their appeal because everybody wears them. And I have a personal habit that I never buy a pair of even dollar store readers without getting a case with it and keeping the glasses in the case. I feel it keeps my glasses so much nicer and keeps them from getting scratched and damaged, and so I always use a case. This is one of the most simple kinds of cases, and it's simply, this one is a felted one, but it's your vertical where you just have to cut some fabric, and you can use felt or you can use fabric. And then this one has a little bit of a slant on one side so that you can just slip your glasses in there. But basically this would require just cutting out your fabric and double, because you need 2 sides, and then just seaming along the edge. So it's a very easy type of sewing project that you could do. You could even actually hand stitch this even if you don't have a sewing machine. So I think that's an excellent first step if you want a quick, easy gift that anyone can use. This is a good option. You can also just make a little kind of fabric. If you need less protection for the glasses, you can just make a little strip of fabric and use a drawstring to tie it up, kind of like a glasses sack. This would be good particularly for readers that you're just going to throw in your purse and they don't need a lot of protection. And you can even use shoestring, black shoestrings for a tie, and it would make a little fabric casing at the top, fold over the top rim, sew it down, and then pull the drawstring through with a safety pin, and you have a nice little glasses sack. Another easy way to make a glasses case would be to take a sleeve of a wool. It has to be 100% wool sweater, and you can cut the sleeve off of it. My grandmother made this years ago. This is a little bag, but you can do the same thing for an eyeglass case by just taking the sleeve that's 100% wool, and this would be the end of the sleeve actually, and this is even ribbed, so it's really cute. But she took the sleeve, cut off the sleeve, washed and dried the sleeve in hot water, and then dried it. And so it shrunk and felted, and then this became a little bag that she needle felted a design onto. But you could do this also with eyeglass case, and you would only have one seam in this case. So when this is turned wrong side, all she had to do was to sew this little seam at the bottom, because you already have the shrinking from the sweater itself shrinking on the sides. And so you literally would have a one seam eyeglass case if you were to make something like this. And then if you want to have any kind of closure at the top, you could. But basically, this would be very fast and easy as well. So that's another one I suggest. Another idea is you can take, I saw one video where someone took a regular hard case like this, and she decoupaged. I have not done decoupage yet, but it was really tempting for me to try it after seeing a video on it. There are all kinds of YouTubes on how to make eyeglass cases. And this particular kind, what the lady did was take some napkins that had a bird and the word Paris on it, and she painted that on with the decoupage. I think they call it Mod Podge, and with a brush, and she just painted it on and let it dry. And she had it hanging on a hanger in her closet so it would dry thoroughly, on a pants hanger, so that this part was hanging and it could hang to dry freely. And then when it dried, she just took a nail file and filed away the extra paper on the inside to get it nice and crisp. And then it's, you know, really nice little eyeglass case. So that was a fun way to decorate a hard shell case if you want to do a more hard shell case. Then another idea that I have had, and I've liked this for a long time, I purchased this, so this isn't one I made, but it would be very easy to take this idea. This is a vinyl case, but you could make it in fabric or vinyl. And my particular sewing machine, which is an older FOF 1222, it's like a tank, and it will sew through vinyl. So with this case, all you would have to do is to cut out your basic shape of your rectangles, two sides, and then sew a zipper on the top if you want to get really fancy. You could have a lining inside, or you could leave it without one, depending on your preference. If you want to keep it easy, you don't have to have a lining if it's a thick material. And then you would have the zipper on the top, and you could decorate with the eyeglass shapes on the outside. You just have to draw an eyeglass shape, and there are a lot of those that you can get. And some people have a Cricut machine where they can take little designs like the eyeglasses and use that to make designs like this on the glasses case. So that's another idea. And finally, I want to show you one that I suggest. I tried to record myself, have Bob record me making this case. And this is more of a wallet style glasses case. And I did try to record it, but it was really hard to do. And to be quite honest, the designer of this is Spencer Ogg, O-G-G. And she is she offers this as a free pattern and tutorial. I guess she's a sewist in the UK, and I will put a link down here to her video. She did an amazing job of showing how to do this in about 10 minutes. And so she is demonstrating it at a store. And I feel she did a really good job of showing how to do it. And then you have to follow the link to get the little pattern. But she has a really simple pattern, and it's truly easy to do this. Once you get the hang of what you're doing, you need a lining fabric and an exterior fabric. She uses vinyl with hers, but you could certainly use a thick quilted fabric like I've used here. You can see I just used a quilted fabric, so that way I didn't even need any pell-on in between because it is thick. The lining I used was a burgundy to coordinate with it. And then I used a little magnetic clasp, but you could also use a sew-on clasp, or you could use Velcro if you like. But it's a very simple pattern, simple concept, and easy to execute. And so I ended up liking the magnetic closure the best. You could also even put a button on it. But the basic way that you're doing it, and I'm just going to show you the very basic. Don't go by my description here, but actually go to her video for a full explanation of how to do this. But basically what you're doing is cutting out your quilted fabric or thick fabric, whatever you want to call it, and then your lining fabric. And you're cutting those out. And the first thing you're doing is ironing down your bottom edge, which is this edge. You want to iron like maybe half an inch, whatever her instructions say. I think it's half an inch. You want to iron that down facing on the wrong side of both sides, the wrong side of the fabric. And then all you're doing is on this side, the curvy side, you are inserting on this side, and I'll show you with the finished one, you're inserting the male side of the magnetic clasp. Actually, it looks like I did the female side there. But you could do the female or the male side. You just have to have one of each, obviously. But I think in her instructions, she has you maybe follow her instructions. Whichever side it is, you're putting it on the lining side up here. So you're needing to do that that's why you have to leave the bottom open. You don't want to sew the bottom close till the very last step. But you're putting that in there, and then you're sewing all around the edge here, the curved edge, leaving the bottom open. Then you're turning that like this. You're turning it so that your right side is showing. And then you're clipping too. Before you turn it, I'm going back here, she has you clipping the seam so that it does make a nice turn. So she shows you and demonstrates how to do that, as well as how to put in the magnetic clasp. Then you're turning the fabric like so. And you're using this curved part becomes your little part that comes down, the flap. And the bottom part is what actually holds your glasses. So you're doing it like that. And then you're sewing all around. You're sewing both this side down as well as doing your top stitching. And before you close this last seam up, you're putting in the other side of the clasp. So that way you have both this clasp, which is the second step, and the first one was up here. That way you have your clasp. So it literally is about a 10-minute project once you get the hang of what you're doing. And she offers both written instructions as well as her excellent YouTube tutorial. So I highly suggest that you go and take a look at Spencer Ogg's video and her free pattern, download her free pattern. And if you can sew it all, I think this will be a really easy, fun gift for you to make. And I hope you'll give it a try. Let me know what you think of it. There are also many, many eyeglass case patterns and videos out there, and many of them you just have to measure whatever they tell you to measure on the fabric. But I like the fact that she supplied a pattern. So I am going to put a link to this. Again, her name is Spencer Ogg, O-G-G, and the name of this is Groovy Glasses Case. So that is all I have to share with you tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I'm going to be in the process right now of not only making some gifts myself for the relatives. I don't have a ton of relatives anymore. We're kind of an aging family, so there aren't a ton of people that I have to make gifts for, but I really enjoy making these fun, practical gifts, and I often give them away at Thanksgiving time. When we get together for our big Thanksgiving dinner, I like to give gifts that I can give to everyone there, and so many times I'll actually give them out on Thanksgiving. But for those of you who do give your gifts out at Christmas time, you'll have a little bit longer to work on those things. And I hope to continue sharing some other ideas as well. And I hope that you found these two ideas so far, the dryer balls and the eyeglass case, as something that you might want to try yourself. If you do, let me know. Let me know how it works out. And also let me know how your shawl project is coming along. If you're still doing the make-along, many of you may have already finished by now. You can always contact me on Ravelry, as my name is Shelley C on Ravelry, C-H-E-L-L-E-C. And I have a link down to my Ravelry profile. And you can also write to me if you would like on knittings and sewings at yahoo.com. If you want to send me pictures of your shawl or any of the projects you're working on, you certainly can do that. Or you can friend me over on Ravelry. I don't do much at all with Instagram. So unfortunately, I just can't follow all the social media. So I try to keep up with Ravelry and of course on my YouTube. And you can always comment here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And if you aren't already subscribed, definitely subscribe so you can be notified of my next video. But until next time, love what you're making and wear what you make. Bye, everybody.